There are not enough tokens that exist currently in this universe or to ever exist in this universe to be able to have enough tokens to make this interaction happen. It's just insane. Let me take you on this journey, starting with Miriam Sentinel Worm on the battlefield that has an effect that says whenever a non-token dragon enters the battlefield, you create a token copy of it. Astral Dragon is a dragon that when it enters the battlefield, you create 2 token copies of a non-token permanent, except they're 3/3 dragons in addition to their other types with flying. So the interaction goes that Astral Dragon will enter the battlefield and will have a trigger for Miriam Sentinel Worm and the Astral Dragon. But those token copies of Astral Dragon are going to enter as a copy of Parallel Lives, which says that whenever 1 or more tokens would enter the battlefield under your control, you put twice that many tokens onto the battlefield instead. Now, those token copies are not going to apply the doubling effect to themselves because the effect needs to exist before it applies. But the original Parallel Lives that we have on the battlefield will double those. So we'll have 4 copies of Parallel Lives Dragon entering the battlefield. And here's where it gets insane, because now we go and resolve Miriam's trigger, which creates another copy of Astral Dragon. But because we currently have 5 copies of Parallel Lives, the original and then the 4 copies, for each token of Astral Dragon, we're going to create 2 copies 5 times, which the end result will be 32 Astral Dragons. And here's where it gets more insane, because each Astral Dragon has a trigger to create 2 token copies onto the battlefield. And that is 32 triggers. And keep in mind, we don't shortcut this. It's not going to be 64 tokens we're making here. We resolve each of these 1 at a time. So for the first trigger that resolves, those set of tokens we're doubling 5 times, which we did the math there. So for each of those tokens, we're getting 32. So we're getting 64 tokens now. And of course, we're going to have them enter as a copy of Parallel Lives. So that's 64 copies of Parallel Lives plus the original 5, making 69 copies of Parallel Live Dragon Creature tokens. And that's just for the first trigger. There's 31 more triggers left of this thing. So let's go with the next one. We double one of those tokens 69 times. Nice. Which gives us this crazy number right here, which should be times 2 because there's 2 of them. So we're going to have that many Parallel Lives times 2 plus the 69. Nice. And as you can guess, the math kind of breaks down from there. And I can't even fathom this. I'm not a mathematician. Math is not my strongest suit. Somebody else did all this math. But Russell, who is one of the judges on the Discord, who I believe has a background in mathematics, did the math, and it comes out to this number, which I don't even know what I'm looking at here. I don't know what this means. Or this number here. I don't know what this even means. But as far as I understand, that number is greater than the number of atoms in this universe. That means if you use every single atom in this universe as a token for this interaction, you would run out of atoms in this universe. So it would be physically impossible to have enough tokens for this interaction.